All right, everybody, welcome to another edition. Welcome to another edition of Happy Half Hour. I am Troy Johnson. I think still I wake up every day and kind of wonder whether or not I am. This is everything you need to know, every single thing in the food universe in San Diego. What a wild claim that is, but we're sticking to it. This week, on the podcast, we have Tara Monsod. Tara Monsod has been nominated for James Beard Award, San Diego's finalist for the last, I believe, 3 or 4 years. She is one of my favorite chefs and favorite people in San Diego. Raised Filipino and really infused anime with Filipino heritage and cooking and Pan-Asian, really, but just an awesome chef. She's also over at Le Coq. That's a new steakhouse in La Jolla. But on the edge of her finally winning the James Beard Award, and I shouldn't actually say that out loud because every time I do, and I think that she's going to win and bring home San Diego's first ever James Beard Award win, it doesn't happen. So this is basically me just jinxing everything. Way to go, Troy. Yesterday, biggest news for me, when you hear this, San Diego FC will have kicked off its season. I don't know if I wasn't even a fan of soccer, right? I thought it was way too much foreplay for a single point. I just like, why all the flirting? Like, let's go, let's get score, do something. It's like you're kind of poking at a rock. And then when they started last year, San Diego FC, within the first month, I had the app on my phone. I was checking live scores and updates. Instantaneously. I was the biggest fan. I am absolutely hooked. Well, yesterday, I got the menu unveil for what they're doing on the food for the game day and everything else. And it's awesome. The best thing that's happened to professional sports, back in the day, it was just a sad, withered, wrinkled hot dog that looked like, Keith Richards' liver. The bun was never heated whatsoever. It was just straight out of the box or the bag. And that box or bag had been packed with buns like 75 years ago, and nothing against the almighty hot dog. The almighty hot dog deserves its place in glory. It will not be slandered at my watch, but we definitely could have better food. And I think sports teams finally realized, starting with Petco Park, that, look, if you're going to have somebody invest their hard-earned money, even if they didn't earn that money, even if it was like, just fell into their lap or they cheated their way to it, whatever, it's your money. If you're going to spend your money going to a professional spot, you should have the entire experience. You need good food. Like if your team wins, right? Your team wins and you've got a sad hot dog, that's fine. Or you got nachos where the cheese doesn't cover every single chip, which is a crime against humanity. That's fine. You can stomach that because your team won. But if you are eating, your team wins and then you're eating like a craft, buona forchetta pizza, which I'll talk about in a second, with a craft cocktail, then you're winning twice. Your life is basically something that I want fractional ownership in. And plus, if your team loses, but you've got fantastic food, you've got like Gaglione Brothers cheesesteaks in hand, then it's the emotional support food for your, pending depression, sports-related depression. All of this is to say a long and winding way of saying some of the new additions this year. They brought in Buona Forchetta for SDFC games. They're doing a meat lover's pizza, Maz, sausage, spicy, salami, pepperoni, fish shop, the Pacific Beach standout. They kind of they found the winning concept of a casual fish oyster fish shop. They've got a ahi poke nachos that are coming in. Girls Deli from North Park, 2 friends that started this little sandwich shop about 5 years ago. They don't cheat people. Their sandwiches are so big they should have a birth announcement and a gender reveal. They are doing like a pastrami with melted cheese and jalapenos. So it's a little bit like a Reuben went to Mexico on a spiritual quest. They got Gaglione Brothers, barbacoa quesadillas from the taco stand, Crack Shacks in there, the legendary Hodads, Seaside Market, Cardiff Crack, Tri-Tip is there at the stadium as well. That's kind of like San Diego's communion wafer. Anyways, phenomenal food. The games have started. If you haven't checked out an SDFC game, and they're not paying me to say this, if you haven't checked out an SDFC game, go check it out. I fell in love. And specifically go way early and go to, I believe it's the orange lot. Actually, they might have moved it. Well, anyways, look for the supporter section tailgate. The supporter section tailgate is one of the most magical things in professional sports in San Diego. They have guys in capes and they've got air horns and they've got tubas and they've got, norteño bands break out in the parking lot. They're doing carne asada on like the tailgates of trucks. It is awesome. It's the biggest party in San Diego. It starts like 3 or 4 hours before the game. Anyways, and then they go into the stadium and they're all at one end of the stadium singing and chanting and waving flags the entire time. It's a spectacle. Go check it out. Anyways, before Tara comes in, she's on her way. Let's go through some of the news for today. Global restaurant brand Zuma. Now, you've heard this place. It's a modern Japanese. They do robata. They do sushi, robata, which is basically Japanese grilling. They started in London. They've got now in Dubai. They've got it in Hong Kong. They've got like 25 different places around the world. It's kind of one of the biggest lifestyle restaurant brands that there is. Their first California location is coming to San Diego. It's going to come to the Guild Hotel in downtown. They're going to open up, I think they're opening up sometime next year, but this is going to be a massive open. It's a 12,000 square foot spot, 250 people in that classic Guild Hotel. That should be pretty damn good. Chef Swap. One of my favorite under the radar chefs in San Diego, Dante Cecchini. He was from San Francisco, cut his teeth under Elizabeth Faulkner at Citizen Cake, and then he went to the Big Night Restaurant Group. He kind of rose to attention up there with restaurants like Marlowe, Park Tavern, The Cavalier, under restaurateurs Anna Weinberg and Jennifer Puccio. He was named one of Zagat's 30 under 30 chefs. He was at Bougie Mana. We did a review of Bougie Mana, and it's still it's a good operation. God, he was doing an incredible smoked duck. He was dry aging and smoking this duck, which was phenomenal. He was also doing these deviled eggs. He was doing deviled eggs that used like crispy pancetta up top. It was phenomenal. Anyways, he's making the move to Communion. Communion is the rooftop restaurant at the Hassan over in Mission Hills. Beautiful, beautiful spot, run by a mother and daughter, that were one of the originals. I mean, it was actually the mom's husband who started Pacifica Del Mar. So they're San Diego kind of royalty. They did some good things in food in San Diego. Her name's Jackie. She came back and opened up this with her daughter. It's one of the best rooftop additions in San Diego. And now Dante is going there. This is going to be good. That's kind of... Look, you always need some, changes as you evolve your restaurant plan, and Dante knows what the hell he's doing. I'm really excited to see what he does there. Communion is worth going back and checking out his new menu, which should be rolled out in the next month or so. Scripps Ranch is getting food. Scripps Ranch. Holy shit, I grew up in Scripps Ranch. It's like Chili's, Applebee's, but at least we had, back in the day, we had a Ballast Point tasting room, but there wasn't much. There just wasn't much food at all, and there honestly still isn't. But an Indian restaurant that's Michelin recommended from Burlingame up in Northern California. It's called Rasoi, Rasoi. That's going in right next to the French Oven across from the Swim and Racket Club in Scripps Ranch. It's going to go in mid-April. They're going to do butter chicken, tandoori specials like paneer, chicken, prawns, fish, house-made naan. Scripps Ranch, you sleepy friends of mine, my people, where I'm from. Congratulations on actually getting something for dinner. That's it. Tara Monsod is coming on next. We're going to talk about the best date nights in San Diego, the most romantic restaurants. When you're taking somewhere, you want that place where you're like, oh God, this is, I feel instantaneously 7,000% more sexy than I have any right to feel. We're going to name those restaurants, and we're going to talk about her stories. She's evolved and become one of the top names in San Diego's food scene, and one of the biggest advocates for Pacific Islander and Filipino food, which has been one of the biggest trends in San Diego. All right, so we've already been talking. Here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to butcher your intro and I'm going to butcher your bio because nobody wants a real bio, right? And you just tell me how much I fucked it up, okay?
It's I think you know me quite a few years now, so I think you're okay.
All right, so as I promised, don't bang the table like I just banged it. Maybe it tends to catch the microphone. As I promised, Tara Monsod, and I've asked you how to say your name. It's Monsod.
Yeah, I know that it's a Filipino accent. It's like Monsod.
Monsod.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. You're getting it better every time.
I'm getting closer.
Yeah, people ask me, I say Monsod because it's just easier for people to say it, but Monsod, and it's just, I don't know. For me, it's easy, but I guess for not a lot of people.
Pronunciation skills happening here
It's
on
totally
Happy
fine.
Hour. We're going to learn something today. A little bit of her bio is this. Came to San Diego about 20 years ago, 20, 25, we're 35. We're not really sure. We're not really sure how old she is. She's 104.7 years old. 104.7 is a new age. She came here and she was actually going to be a nurse. She was working at Albertsons to put herself through school because, working in the grocery industry, gave you health insurance, which health insurance is kind of important, and was going to be taking care of people. And now she definitely is because she's got about, 200 employees probably across anime and Lecoq. She started working at Tender Greens. She worked at Herringbone back in the day. The pandemic happens. She starts making French toast. People start showing up at her place, and she starts selling them like out of her damn kitchen, like this tiny little kitchen, and everybody loves it. You can feel free to tell me when I'm fucking it up.
Did you say French toast?
Shrimp toast?
Oh yeah, it was.
Was it not shrimp toast?
Well, it was a version. It was a sushi bakes.
Oh, it's sushi bakes.
Yeah,
okay, got it.
I was just doing for fun. Yeah, during the pandemic.
Yeah, she was doing it for
and
fun.
Crack Shack. I worked for Crack and Juniper and Ivy.
At Crack Shack and Juniper and Ivy and Tender Greens, and then the post came at Anime, and and obviously there was a few chefs at under Chris Puffer and Brian Malarkey that had been there, and everybody did good work to build the foundation of that place, and it's a beautiful, beautiful restaurant. And then when you came in and took over, it kind of all coalesced, like people really rallied behind it. The food was fantastic. And you really kind of became you became a face of the rise of Filipino food in San Diego, right? And which has been one of the best trends in our food scene in the last 3 or 4 years. We all grew up with a strong Filipino community, a Fil-Am community here in San Diego, and the best food was always in the parks or at my friends' houses, right?
Yeah.
Restaurant culture, it just it wasn't rising. You had like Manila Sunsets, you had, Tita's Kitchenettes, down in National City. National City had some strong, Filipino roots. We were just talking about a chef in San Diego, Anthony Sensei, who everybody loved. He passed way before his time, but he was a massive proponent of young chefs cooking Filipino food because this was such a big culture here. There was such an audience for it, and there was a deep roots in San Diego. Like Mexican and Filipino food. I think Filipino culture makes up 54% of our Asian population in San Diego. I just looked it up. I mean, it's massive.
It's huge. Yeah.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's a very important part of who she is. And now she's been nominated for a James Beard Award 765 times.
Might as well be.
She's nominated again, and I feel like I'm jinxing it a little bit because every time that you get nominated, I'm like, this is the year. Tara deserves this. This is the year. But congratulations on your nomination again. Whether or not you win, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
It is a nice bestowing just to be on that platform, and it's damn well deserved.
Thank you.
So, okay, let's go back a little bit because we were talking before this, and you said nursing. Wait, first of all, working in grocery really helped.
Yeah.
How you became a chef and taught you a few things. Explain that.
Well, I learned a lot of managerial skills doing that. I think people skills. Being a cashier at a grocery store is a revolving door of just people.
Yeah.
So like every 5 minutes you're talking to a different personality.
Dude, every 1 minute.
Yeah, every 1 minute.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
you get really strong like social skills, like whether people want to talk, whether people don't want to talk.
And that's a weird one too. It is like speed dating.
It's like speed dating with people, like with random people. And I utilize that to be really learn how to pull out a conversation out of anything. And I think that honestly, in hindsight now, it really helped me today by talking to people in the dining room, like knowing how like people are, or like trying to figure out something in common. Or anything where you're just like, hey, how's your day going? And not being afraid to say hi to somebody.
Yeah.
Like,
you've always been easy to talk to.
Yeah.
You've always been a really pleasant presence in any room.
Oh, thank you.
But you don't strike me as somebody who is naturally outgoing.
I'm outgoing. I am, but like I'm also know how to like tame it down to time and a place.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm down for
I'll learn
whatever.
that
But I've learned that talking to people has always been a skill that I've kind of grown into.
Yeah.
And a lot of people aren't very good at communicating.
Yep.
Or knowing how to read other people and other things. So I think
Especially cooks.
especially cooks or just people. people in general. You know, like social media is like, you know, everything's on a screen, you know, but I think social skills are very, very important to have in an industry like this, especially to be personal. Now that people love chefs, I think it's really important that you know how to talk to your guests. And talk to your team, of course.
Everybody should work at a grocery store as a checker. It makes so much sense to me.
Dude,
because
you appreciate your people. You appreciate people in the industry when you've worked those jobs, obviously. But I worked it for a very long time. Yeah.
Well, and it's like speed dating, because like if you're at a barista or even like a checkout counter of a restaurant, it's very quick.
Yes.
That is very quick. You're like, I made my order. Please, here it is. It's transactional.
Yeah.
When you're grocery shopping,
they're standing in front of you.
You're standing for like 5 minutes. You're right. It is like 5 minutes. It's a little bit of an interaction.
You can tell when somebody's having a bad day, or like maybe a couple's fighting, and you're like, oh, they can't decide what they want for dinner. They can't decide what they want for dinner, or the kid's acting in the pool, and you're like, try to help your kid, like, hey, distract them. Look at this orange, you know, like, you know, something stupid like that. You know?
Right.
But I got really good at selling things.
Okay.
Maybe because I'm cute and tiny, and Asian girl. Like, would you like 10 Powerades right now?
Everybody on this episode of Happy Half Hour, they're very cute and tiny. Tara Monsod. Your nickname is Small Fry.
Yes, it is. I got that name at Herringbone because I was stuck on the fry station in the corner next to Eric Schultz, who is, I think he's like 6'5", 6'7".
Oh, anybody
6'6".
looks tiny next to that.
Yeah,
guy.
so I would they put me next to him, so he would put everything up top, and I would put everything down low. And then soon enough, Amanda Baumgarten she would call me Small Fry from the corner. She's like, Small Fry, I need fries. Just like yelling, like chaotic. Now, like think about that kitchen now, and I'm like, here I am back in that kitchen, and sometimes I look around and I'm like, man, I used to be in this kitchen getting yelled at for French fries and fish and chips and like stuff like that, you know, or a clam pizza.
Well, talk to me about that, because anybody who's been in San Diego, if you don't know Herringbone was put into I believe it's an Oldsmobile dealership from like the 1920s or something like that.
It's a cool building.
Yeah. It is such a beautiful building. You know, it's almost shaped like an airplane hangar, the Belly Up Tavern. It's almost like a Quonset kind of structure. Or am I making that up? It does have
it has a dome. Yeah,
it has a dome.
It has a little dome. Wood beams and stuff.
Beams and rafters. It's just a really, really cool room. And then when Herringbone went in, you know, that was part of the Fabric restaurant group. That's where Chris Puffer and Brian Malarkey kind of, you know, met, and Angel sung and Dreamweaver played, and, you know, and they started the restaurant empire, and which had Burlap, which, you know, ran a prostitution ring up in Del Mar.
Jesus.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. There were certain things that happened. It just
started happening. Nobody knew what was happening. You're like, what is happening here? You know.
But when Herringbone opened, that was a massive move for La Jolla, because La Jolla at that point, you had Jason Nibb, who does an amazing job at 910. You had George's and Trey Fauché, obviously. You know, but nothing had really happened there in a long time. So you were part of that. What was that moment in time in the food scene and the restaurant culture like?
Well, I remember looking around for jobs. Like, I was just like, where am I going to work?
Yeah.
You know, and like coming from LA, I was like, I had a certain kind of like, okay, I really want to do Asian, but honestly, there wasn't really much Asian food at a higher level that I wanted to work at.
And this was what year?
2011.
2011.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. When I finished school, I was already working at Tender Greens at the time, and I was looking for a second job, and I wanted to make up for lost time because I changed careers at 27. So I was just like, you know, I'm going to work 2 jobs and work my ass off. So, but then I ran into an ad for Herringbone, and I was just like, well, this place looks dope. You know, I want to learn about seafood. And so, but I remember walking to that space, and I loved the dining room at the time. Like,
so did I.
You know, like I loved also from the view from the dining room looking into the kitchen, because the kitchen like glowed. It had the glass, and it had all the lights, and you know, it showed off like the team and the chefs.
Had a big tree running down the middle of it too.
Had multiple trees, so the vibe of the space was really fun. And I mean, we cranked a lot of food out of that small space. It's a big building, but the kitchen itself was like pretty tight, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just a bunch of young chefs just kind of trying to do really well, and I met a lot of my friends who I'm still friends with now.
Awesome.
And you know, it's just one of those times where you just like, it's so crazy but fun at the same time. And then in hindsight, I'm like, damn, I'm just like, now that I'm older and executive chef, I'm like, that shit was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
right.
there's a lot of freaking food.
You're
There's a
just
lot of
cooking
food.
so much. I mean, and how do you keep such quality when you're doing that much volume? You know,
That's the hard part.
Yeah.
At Anime and Lecoq, it's, I can only speak for myself.
Excuse me, Lecoq or Lecoq?
I say Lecoq, but because they say like chicken in French. It's a Lecoq.
It is Lecoq, actually. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
But it's like a common thing. Is it Lecoq or Lecoq? I'm like, God, if you guys ask me so many times, I'm like, you say it however you want to say it, bro. Puffer and Malarkey, obviously, I love the word Lecoq, whatever. But the gamey is like, dude, just say Lecoq, bro. Like, yeah. This one does not want to say that word,
Yeah.
Jokingly.
The best.
But it's supposed to be it's supposed to be a joke. It's supposed to be fun.
Totally. Yeah. Have a little bit. I mean, honestly, that's kind of what. Yeah. Look, people ask me like what made Guy's Grocery Game such a successful show for so long. Guy, obviously, Guy. But also that we knew our jobs and we take it very seriously. That we knew what we were doing.
Yes.
But we didn't take ourselves too seriously. It's like, God, take the piss out of food a little bit. You know what I mean? Like release that pressure valve. It can be really good, and there could be a lot of craft and art and study and obsessive sourcing behind it, but you don't need it to be so pretentious. Like, God, let the stale air out of the room, and that's kind of what that does.
Yeah. So, but it's definitely Brian and Puffer to joke around a little bit,
for
so.
Sure. Yeah.
But to answer, you said you were asking me about how to do volume.
How do you do volume?
Training.
Yeah, it's just training.
It's just training and teaching people to care.
Yeah. That's got to be the hardest thing. That's
It's like I think like getting JBF, I think it's more than just about the food. I think it's the effort I put into my team, and like I truly care. I truly do care about my staff and their well-being and their growth, and I think they see that and they feel that. And I think one of the biggest things somebody taught me is that for people to work for you, they can respect you for your craft and what you do, but for people to ride or die for you, they have to genuinely love you as a person.
Yeah.
And for that to happen, you have to be honest. You have to you can't fake that you care about them. You can't fake that it's like people read you. Like, people aren't dumb.
Yeah, you can't be a human veneer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But that piece of advice has like helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I'm genuine about what I say and what I do, and I try to uphold that. And so I think they see that, or at least I hope they do.
Yep.
With doing 2 restaurants, it's a little more difficult to get a lot more face time with a lot more people because I'm spread thin.
Why the fuck did you do 2 restaurants, by the way?
You want my honest answer?
Okay, yeah.
I wanted to, life happens, and I need to take care of people, and and not only that, like, anime is moving and going, and so I'm it's not in my nature to stay stagnant.
You wanted to try something different, obviously.
So and so there's opportunity for growth, and I've always been that type of person who wanted to move up and do more things when I have the bandwidth to. And
I got to be honest, when I heard that you were taking on Lecoq too, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You are a glutton. I mean, granted, you were working at Albertsons, going through nursing school, switching careers when you're 26. I mean, you're not afraid of challenge. You're not afraid of change.
No, I like a good challenge. I think being uncomfortable is good. Because it shows growth.
Yep.
And for me, like, anime was running, and I'm not saying it was running on its own, because it's not always like that. My team and my general manager Dick and Sarah, who is like my right hand, and my 2 other sous chefs, Murder and Junior, like they do so much, and I think it goes. Sometimes people don't see that because obviously, how would they? But they do so much work, and because of that and all the training we've done and how the setup at the time, anime was moving really, really well, and there was opportunity, and I just jumped on it.
Yeah. And so when did you, obviously when, I talked about this with Phil Esteban, who's a great Filipino chef in San Diego, he has white rice. And he's done a lot of stuff. But in fact, he just opened up a new one. If you haven't been, go check it out at Alexandria, the kind of life science state where Brian Malarkey and Puffer had a restaurant for a little while. I was talking about the rise of Filipino food. So as a Filipino American, you didn't have, like you said, you didn't have Asian food. You didn't have like high-end Asian food that you could, you wanted to cook Asian food, but you couldn't because at the time, 2011, there wasn't too many options.
There wasn't too. I mean, during culinary school, there's certain places that popped up, and then I would go eat there, and I could see what they were trying to do.
Sure.
But like to call it like Filipino food, like it was kind of like too off, where it kind of lost the soul of what Filipino food is.
Yep.
So I think, even now it's like that, So, but me personally, I just didn't find anywhere where I personally, unless it was sushi. And getting into sushi kitchen at that time, being a female, was not very easy. So
interesting. Sushi, especially.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an amazing craft. It's like it's simple but very intentional.
Yeah.
Craft and I feel like sushi is like in its own league of culinary.
But it was harder for women.
Well, I mean, how many women sushi chefs do you
You're
see?
so right. I hadn't really thought about that.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like even now you don't see too many. And then I knew Naomi, who worked with me at Juniper and Ivy, and like she's doing sushi now for craft, I think, which is a more modern take on sushi.
Yeah.
And I've met a couple other women, but honestly, there isn't very many.
Interesting.
Yeah, if you think about it.
Yeah, I didn't think about sushi as a little bit of a frat
but
party.
It's becoming a thing. Like it's probably been there, but it hasn't been shed a lot of light on it. But there was this I think it's a misconception that our hands are too warm to hold the rice, from what I heard. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Is there any biological?
I don't know, but it's like not to disrespect the culture or anything, but like that's kind of like something that I heard.
Right.
That
right.
There's a theory that the hands are too warm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you're, when you said the soul of Filipino food, what is that to you? Because I mean, that's obviously the food that you grew up with. This is your culture.
I don't know. I think it's getting the right balance of like sweet, acid, heat. There's certain aspects of Filipino food, and a lot of it has a lot to do with like acid. And I think I found the sweet spot where you just change it just slightly enough where it's still very recognizable that it's Filipino food, but not too far off where you're like, okay, I don't know what that is, but I understand what you're trying to do.
Yep.
But my thing is if you don't get like a reaction of right away or nostalgia or that what they call like ratatouille moment, then I haven't really hit it too far yet. But even now I'm learning so much about our food. There's so much untapped, dishes that a lot of people don't know about, even Filipinos don't know about.
Sure.
Filipinos are very much about part of American history, and like we were colonized by the Spanish, so a lot has changed from what our food was in the very, very beginning to what it is now.
Yep.
And so it's got lost in translation. So
which is a story of so many cultures of food. And you think about the banh mi. The banh mi was French colonization.
It's all history.
It's all history.
But
birria was the Spanish colonizing Mexico and bringing damn goats along, and they ate the locals' crops. And the local Mexicans were like, "Excuse me, I'm going to cook your Spanish pest underground with delicious herbs and spices."
Yes, and just like feed it to you. It's good. Yeah, but I'm learning that even in the Philippines when I went there last September, even them they're in the Philippines they don't know about our food prior to colonization. So, unless you grew up with it, and I think they're tapping into that as well. I was lucky enough to have a dinner at Hapag, which, they were able to focus on our flavors that were more Malaysian, more like spices and coconuts and, just a different flavor profile than what we have now.
What was it like going to, I mean, you went back there as a chef. I mean,
it's cool. It made me very proud. It taught me that I've learned a lot since I've been an executive chef.
Yeah.
But I've also learned there's so much more to learn.
For sure. Yeah. You're never done.
Yeah. But going there and seeing our food in different ways and seeing what they're doing, and Michelin just went over there as well and gave them some love.
Yeah.
As a Filipino, it's made me very proud because ever since I decided to become a chef, and I remember going culinary school, I'm like, how come we don't do any of these things with Filipino food? Like, how come like Japanese is doing it, Thai is doing it, Koreans doing it, like, and with like French technique, but like, how come like I haven't seen it? And then so it was one of those things that crossed my mind as soon as I got into school, and then going through the years, you're like, I still don't see it. But now I think it's funny because somebody called me an OG. But to me, I feel like I'm just barely getting started. But in regards to Filipino food, there's this wave that's happening, and we all kind of know each other, and like we've all worked with each other at some point. And I've met so many people having this opportunity and this platform of like JBF, and it's pretty awesome.
James
to
Beard
be
Foundation. Yeah,
it's pretty awesome to be part of it.
Yeah.
And kind of make that connections. With
two
people.
things I want to kind of unpack there is, can you give me an example of, and this is kind of, I think it's, well, anybody that studies under the French techniques, I think, it helps make any cuisine.
Yeah,
better.
that's what, the French created restaurants. They they put terms on a lot of these cooking things.
Sure.
But I've learned that also a lot of those techniques don't apply to Asian food. Like Asian food, like using a wok is a whole nother technique.
So that's a whole other kitchen.
It's a whole nother kitchen. It's a whole nother technique. So yes, it's a great guideline, and it's, educational wise, but what I've learned with cooking, that it's like whatever gets you the best product and the flavor that you want at the end.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's like, it doesn't matter.
What is your go-to? And then going to, you're like, I found that balance of like having that high acid.
Yes.
What is that technique? What could, distill it in 2 sentences, no pressure.
Oh my gosh. What is that technique?
I know. Well, but seriously, what you play with it all the time, right? And you just kind of codify what worked, what didn't, like, did you learn to, hit it with a tiny bit more acid? I mean, whether that be, what kind of acid are you talking about?
I think acid's it's actually Blaze who taught me or said something.
Richard
today.
Blaze. Okay.
Yeah. He was like, acid is just important as salt.
Yep.
And and being Filipino, I highly agreed with that, because we put acid on everything. It's whether it's a finish with lemon, it's finished with lime, or maybe a little spritz of like a vinegar, or right at the end.
Yep.
If you make a bolognese, right at the end you do a splash of sherry in it.
Yeah.
I think there's acid in everything, and I think people just don't know.
Yeah.
And it's all about a balance of those things, and it helps round it out. And you don't get kind of flavor fatigue.
Yeah.
When you eat something over and over again. But if you have a bite of a pickle and you go back, I think that's why Asian food hits, because it's so high in acid.
Yeah.
Korean food's great. You have Korean barbecue and you have panchan on the side. It's like you go back and forth.
Panchan is a ton of acid. You go back and forth. Yeah.
And the crazy thing is that, trying to explain panchan to people at anime, they're like, when we first opened, they're like, what is this? We're like, well, it's panchan.
Snacks.
It's you eat it with your steak.
Yeah.
And they're like, and then somebody would just leave it there. And you're like, and I was like, why do people just leave it on the table? It's food. It's in front of you.
Yeah.
And then, so I started using, I'm like, hey guys, you use a reference of like Texas barbecue. You have coleslaw. You have potato salad. You have B&B pickles, like bread and butter pickles. Just refer to that. You go back and forth in between your bites, and it's exactly the same thing, except one is Korean.
Right. There's your Vegas buffet of tiny little acidic snacks.
Yeah. But you got to find little ways to try to get people to understand it. But that's like,
I can just picture you, cooking
in the kitchen,
in the kitchen. A Phil-Am chef. You're like, oh, look, and we're playing with a bunch of different Asian concepts here and everything else, and trying to get people like, just tell them it's damn barbecue. You know what I mean? Make them think of Texas, and maybe they'll get it.
I mean, whatever you can to get people to understand food.
Yeah,
and sure. I think people most of the time when it comes to food, they're just uncomfortable. They just don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's our job as chefs to make them feel comfortable.
And depressurize or depretentize that information. It's like, look, it's not. Please ask.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Just ask me.
Yeah.
Which is why staff education for me at Anime and Le Cook is very important.
Yeah, for sure. And then, I mean, how do you, in your own community and in your own family, is there just that pride now that, just to see, to see Filipino food rising? It's
crazy. Yeah. When between my first podcast with you to now, it's my following, I guess, in the city, especially within the Filipino or Asian community, has grown tremendously.
Yeah.
I literally walked around to have a Valentine's Day with my partner, and I'm just literally crossing the street to get coffee, and I just hear Chef Tara,
and somebody
waving out of a car, and I'm just like, hi, just like, and then I go in and the cashier knows who I am.
Yeah.
And then I get dim sum after, and then a cute little family comes up to me and says, "Hi, are you Chef Tara?" And I say, "Yeah," it's like, "Oh, we love you. We love your restaurant," and
Awesome.
and then a lot of the things people say is like, "Oh, I've come in and it's, it's really good because," and then they're like, "I want to bring my parents in."
Mm-hmm.
Which is
that's some pressure.
That's pressure, but it's a good sign.
That is a good sign.
It's a good sign. That means they're putting their stamp of approval on it. So I think I'm just very lucky, generation wise, because I'm in a generation where we're first generation and we're old enough to, go out to eat and, and we're open to new food. And so those are my diners. Those are the people that come in, and then they're like a little skeptical at first, not gonna lie, because there's a lot of, Filipino food or Asian food that's badly represented,
Sure.
And, they don't know what they're going to walk into.
Yep.
And when it hits for them, thank God, they're really proud.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of people who come up to me and they go, "We want to talk to you, and we just want to tell you how proud we are of you." And they don't have to say these things, but they're super proud because food is so much like part of our culture, and our I've said it before, it's like our love language. It's how we take care of other people. It's my nursing friends, it's a joke that all the Filipinos bring food into the break room and it's just like constantly a buffet,
Yeah.
So I think for Filipinos, it's like to them, it's very important.
Yeah.
And it makes them very proud. Yeah.
Again, going back to my conversation recently with Phil Esteban, he said two things. Food is how you discover culture too.
Yes,
so it's not
very
just
much
about
so.
discovering the food. Then you start learning about its history. Then you start learning about the politics. You start learning about the traditions, the religions, the geography, whatever it may be. It's just kind of a window into a culture. Like you said, Filipinos are actually in the Philippines are discovering their pre-Spanish colonization roots of food, and then also discovering culture. So it's the beginning of the conversation. I think,
It's crazy because then you start to veer off on like where Filipino lands, like Filipino American food, and then if you in Spain, there's a lot of Filipinos as well.
Yep.
In Dubai, we all make our food, and out of survival, like a lot of those the dishes have evolved into something else, utilizing different ingredients because may not be available here.
Sure.
And so it's kind of like, so going back to the Philippines, one of the things I learned is like, okay, is our food still Filipino?
Yep.
In their eyes, and vice versa,
Yeah.
but I think to me, it's just different, different lanes, and people are just doing their best in each lane that they're in.
Yeah.
So,
We'll keep on this. And obviously, lecoq and anime are, you have a lot of different cultures that are represented on those menus.
yes, very much so.
But sticking with Filipino, where's the Filipino touch right now, specifically at anime, and then lecoq as well? Because I know you in the beginning of lecoq, it was a French steakhouse or Parisian steakhouse, and then you switched a little bit.
Yeah.
You opened up to your Asian influence, to a little bit of the Filipino. Where can I see Filipino food on anime and lecoq?
So anime, obviously you see it a lot. It's the short rib kare-kare, the pork tocino, which is very popular right now.
Yeah.
The tuna kailaw, which is a Filipino version of like ceviche,
Yep.
which I heard is one of the first documented dishes.
Okay.
That is native to the Philippines. And then what else do I have? I have adobo, my version of adobo. It's a red adobo.
The classic.
Yeah. But a lot of Filipinos don't know that there's 4 different kinds of adobo, not just the brown one. So I decided to do a red one, which has no soy sauce in it. And then we have, obviously reflected in our desserts, we have a biko creme brulee, which is a sticky rice creme brulee. And something nostalgic to me is a buko pandan, which is, I call pandan the new ube. Yeah.
Because of the color.
Everybody found out about pandan now. And now it's in matcha, it's in coffee, it's in desserts. You're going to see it at Trader Joe's soon, probably.
Dude, if it's colorful, Americans are at it.
They're all about, have you tried pandan? I'm like, yeah, dude, I grew up with it. It's like, but anyways, joke aside, like it's my favorite flavor is for desserts. And that's in our dessert menu.
Okay.
And then at Le Coq, like little, like I like to say it's the opposite of anime.
Yeah.
Right. But we have like a lot of calamansi everywhere. We have,
Okay.
it's
Calamansi, Filipino citrus.
yeah. And like I loved like grilled fish growing up with like a lot of calamansi on it. So like
Perfect.
our sea bass, our local snapper.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Last time I was with you,
Yeah.
when we were recording the podcast with Puffer and Malarkey, you that was what you brought out, correct?
Yes, yeah. So to me, it's just a charred fish with a beurre blanc,
Sure.
right? But essentially that came of a thought of me just having grilled fish with a little bit of calamansi juice. And, eating with rice.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's a lot of times that's all you
It's
need.
simplicity.
It's
yeah.
simplicity. You need a protein, a little bit of salt, and some
Yeah.
citrus. I remember cooking at a guy's house, and he just took lemon and put it all over the lamb. And honestly, it makes so much sense. I mean, chimichurri is phenomenal with it. But I'm like, I never really finished it. Just was straight, like a land protein. I hadn't really finished with straight lemon. Phenomenal.
Great.
I mean,
Yeah.
again, to your point, it just wakes everything up. It makes your mouth alive. It turns on the lights,
Yeah.
and it accentuates. It's another salt.
Yes.
Like you were saying.
Yeah. It's just important.
It's just as important. And then, what is your favorite dish? You have we've talked about this before, but you have a date night, menu at Le Coq, which is awesome because look, you've earned your right to charge whatever the hell you want, and look, there's so much money that goes into building a place like that and making it really special and everything else, and the cost of food has gone up significantly. You have to charge a lot when you're building something that scale and that special, period.
Well, if you're doing the numbers right, yes.
Right.
Yes.
If you're running what's called
if
a
you're
business.
running a business, yes.
Right.
You have to take care of people, the service, everybody. Like it's not cheap to run a restaurant.
Yeah, exactly. And the margins are small. We've talked about this forever on
Yes.
this podcast, right?
Yes.
But you did a $100 date night, which has a Bing bread.
Which you loved.
Oh
yeah.
my God,
Yeah,
I
everybody
love
loves
that.
that bread. Chef Derek killed it on that bread. Yeah.
Yeah. So that Chef Derek created that. Tell everybody what Bing bread is, because
It almost looks like a scallion pancake. Yeah. But I wanted something closer to like bread service, like you have like somewhere. And so, but it has that flakiness at the same time. So when it's rolled out, it almost looks like roti.
Yeah.
It's like really thin. And then it's layered with garlic chive butter.
Yeah.
And then it's rolled like a cinnamon roll. And then usually it's flattened out like a pancake.
Okay.
And then you toast it on it like a griddle.
Yeah, but yours is thicker too.
So mine is thicker. So what I wanted Chef Derek to is like, I want like a loaf. And I was like, can you make it rise and but still have that flakiness and then still have that brownness on the outside, so when you rip into it, it kind of flakes a little bit. So
Holy shit, man, it's so good.
yeah, it's a really good. I could eat the bread by itself.
Oh, yeah.
I brought that to Birdie G's when we did the Jeremy Fox dinner, and we had a lot of leftovers.
Yeah.
And the staff just like inhaled it.
Oh
and-
yeah,
yeah.
That's
But
the
it's
reason
served with
gluten
the-
was exists,
Yeah.
man. That was the reason why.
Yeah, that's
gluten-
why I love bread. Yeah,
Oh.
with a lot of butter. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and then you did a fantastic steak with it as well. But it's basically $100, and you can get a 3-course meal that you split, and it's a ton of food, and you get to try. I mean, you've again, James. 75,000 time nominee James Beard, you get to try the food without having to do as big of a night as it might cost.
Yeah,
normally.
yeah, and it's just enough. It's enough food for 2 people.
Yeah.
And you and it's a full meal from beginning to end. So
Right.
and you're in the dining room and be
Yeah.
able to have just a quiet night or not so quiet night. It depends on what time you come in the night, because
Right.
we're known for turning up the music as the night goes on. But the idea is to have a fun space as well, so the date can transition from quiet to something a little more fun.
Okay. Awesome. Do you rip
Yeah.
it up on the dance floor?
Can I don't know. I don't. My staff will probably say yes. They love seeing me, be goofy that way. But yeah, we definitely like to have, Brian. He loves to have a good time.
Yeah. So the Coke at
Yeah.
night, and
We have their DJs on Fridays and Saturdays.
DJs
which
on Fridays and
are
Saturdays.
so much fun.
I bet, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's not much late night in La Jolla.
No.
La
La Jolla goes to bed at like 2:30 p.m. it.
Yeah, there's spots that, even I was going to when I was a cook, working in that area, and it's been the same spots, and power to them. But we just wanted to give people an opportunity to go somewhere else where there's music and get a good cocktail and hang out. And
you've had dinner, now bring it alive.
Yeah, just give them something at night.
Awesome. Okay, so speaking of date nights, then I'm going to transition us now. I told you that before you come on this podcast, we're going to talk about, it's February, which is Valentine's Day. It's going to be after Valentine's Day, but whatever, you can celebrate that holiday every single day in your life with your partner. All right. But I was thinking about some of the most romantic restaurants that you've in San Diego, like the spots that you're like, oh man, I feel like Brad Pitt right now. I feel like I got a little a tiger blood, What about your favorite, like little cute or not cute or big, whatever, date night spots? What are your favorites in San Diego?
Let me see. My partner, she loves Wolf in the Woods.
Oh, Wolf in the Woods is on my list. It's one of the best restaurants in San Diego. That corn pignon soup we just talked about.
It's delicious. And Chef Carmine Lopez to me is not only, you always give me a lot of love for being a great person or a nice person, but Carmine is such a loving person as well, and a talented chef. And her space at Wolf in the Woods is wonderful for a date night. It reminds you of like New York, like if I was in New York or in Paris, like having a cute, quaint little spot.
It's like 7 square feet.
Yes.
That whole restaurant.
And she does a lot of that small kitchen, so I give her her and her team a lot of props.
Yep.
And so I love taking up a corner. But if you're a person that is claustrophobic, like,
no, this is not your spot.
This is not. If you're all about personal space, this is not.
It's the Cafe Chloe of Mission Hills.
Yes. It's a very cute, and it's a quiet area, and you can have a quiet conversation. And
you better be quiet, to be quite honest with you, because the neighbors are
they're gonna come chase you down. Yeah,
they're gonna drive up in their golf cart and point fingers at you.
Yeah. But they've done a really great job with the space that they've had.
Okay, so for one of mine, I have to add Dora Ristorante. I went actually. This is the new restaurant from Accurcio Lota, who has Corey Pastificio over in South Park, North Park. And he just opened up across the street from the La Jolla Playhouse. And look, I don't go to theater as much as I should go to theater, to be quite honest with you. But
I don't have enough time to go to theater.
That too. I had children and I had a baby of a media company. But it's right, literally 100 feet from the entrance to La Jolla Playhouse. And La Jolla Playhouse, they created the Jersey Boys, which then went to Broadway. Like, it's one of the most respected, and awesome fucking theaters in the United States. It's our entry into like the national theater scene and talk and everything else. So it's one night you got to go to Dora because, oh dude, holy shit. They've got anchovies that he just lightly cures, basil, tomato, and anchovies are one of those fish.
Oh yeah, dude, they don't get enough love. I don't know why they have such a negative connection to them.
It's oily, right?
It is oily, but so is mackerel and so is tuna.
Tuna is too. I know, that's the thing.
People love tuna.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. We can't get. It's like you get your friends, right? Food is friends. You pick your 3, and you're like halibut, salmon, and I got sea bass,
and I'm set.
That's it.
Yeah, I know.
So if you go to Dora Ristorante and you go at like a 5 p.m. because honestly, that's my favorite. I mean, I
love anchovies.
Oh, anchovies are so good.
Yeah.
It's lightly cured. Every single person at the table, including the people that don't like seafood that much, we're like, holy shit, that's one of the best things I've had. And it's beautiful. It's designed by Bells and Whistles, which has
they did anime as well. Yeah.
They did anime as well. That's right. Yeah. So anyways, it's beautiful in there. That's one of mine. What's another one of yours?
Let me see. Mabel's is always fun. They always
Mabel's
take
Gone
really good care
Fishing
of
in North Park.
They always take good care of me. It's dim enough for a date, small enough for a date, but also lively enough where it doesn't have to be too serious.
Yeah.
I like taking a seat at their bar, getting a gimlet from them. And the kitchen is open, so you get a little bit of a show. And then it's cute too. It's cute.
The older I get, and the more intersections that appear on my face.
Intersections, huh?
The less light I want. You know what I mean? The less light, the better. Give me a tiny bit of shadow, a tiny bit of dark. I like to be in the dim.
And they serve good food. They serve food. It's a small plate, so you don't have to order too much, and you don't have to commit to a big plate. And they're doing a lot with local seafood.
Yeah, for sure.
Which I give them props.
Chelsea Coleman is the chef owner there.
Badass woman.
She was one of the first people to champion natural wine at Rose Wine Bar, and she was over in I forget she was cooking in Spain. I think that's what it was. We did a podcast with her. mother you can find online. She's actually the daughter of Jerry Coleman, who's a San Diego legend. He was the Padres broadcaster for years, and I grew up listening to her dad's voice. I mean, that was like my grandfather on the radio.
That's cool.
And then she was cooking in slow food over in Spain and really, really got into the movement. So she gives a shit about food.
Very much so, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a really good spot. I would say, I mean, for me, one of the new ones is the rooftop at Deckman's.
Yeah.
So Deckman, Drew Deckman, when he first came, and we've talked about this before, he opened up 3131. He was going for 2-star Michelin kind of food in North Park. He's now switched it up, and I think it was actually a great call because I think everybody knew about Deckman. He knew this Viking cooking under smoke, and in Valle.
Yeah.
But not everybody had gone down there to have his food because a lot of people don't go to Mexico.
I mean, yeah.
They just don't. They say, "Oh, I heard about Valle," but they don't really go to Valle.
Yeah.
It's a magical place, and you should go down there. But I think that he should have brought that north first. He went for more refined, and I'm like, now he's switched it back. He's got a killer burger. He's like, there's a little bit more char. There's a little bit more big, robust, and pastas on the menu and everything else. I mean, the burger is phenomenal. If you go on the rooftop, they got a tiny, tiny rooftop, and I think it's the only rooftop in North Park.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah, it is tiny, but it's great for a date.
Great for a date. I mean, you get oysters there. He's got his own oyster company. Go up there, get a spot up there, and that's a fantastic place.
I mean, the dining room is also awesome too. If you're
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, his food's great. I mean, and who doesn't like anything on a grill?
I know. Oh, and he is a grill master, and he knows seafood really, 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 really well. What about? All right, go ahead.
Another one?
Yeah, give me another one.
Let me, if you want to up the price a little bit, maybe Lilo.
Lilo or June. I had Lilo or June.
Yeah. I mean, it's a beautiful space.
So Lilo and Carlsbad from Chef Eric Bost.
Yeah, I took my partner there for anniversary dinner. And I also wanted to support when they first opened. And it's a great experience. It's very intimate.
Yeah.
But also very shared with that 20-something seat bar.
There's only 20 seats, and it's interesting because the story there is John Resnick started as the Hard Rock Hotel's vibe manager. That was actually his job.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was really cool. Right when it opened up in San Diego.
I'd love that job. That's a dope job.
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to study your vibe, and I'm going to improve it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Hell yeah.
Right? That's what you did as a checker at Albertsons.
Not quite cool. It's not quite the same. I wish it was. Yeah.
And he was at CH Projects, and he was a manager there for a long time, and he helped them kind of evolve. And I mean, I think he went to Harvard hospitality school before then. Anyways, really smart guy. Studied the craft really well. Opened up Campfire. Opened up Jeune, and with Andrew Bachelier, who obviously has Chicken Hawk with Tony Hawk now and Encinitas. But then Eric Bost, when Andrew left during the pandemic, Eric Bost was one of the best chefs he was Joël Robuchon's right hand for a long, long time, handled a lot of his restaurants in Singapore and Vegas and everything else. When he opened up his restaurant Auburn in LA, it was Rene Redzepi, all the best chefs in the world, they came and ate.
Yeah.
They were like, this is this guy. And that's another one like you, and I'm going to stop talking about how nice you are, all right? You're a real asshole, all right?
I'm such a dick. Such a dick.
I need to get that other side of you too.
I appreciate it.
But he's the kind of guy like that. He's just a super, super sweet human being and highly talented. I remember when I tried his food at Jeune, I was like, oh, holy shit. This is incredible. Bright, acidic, like flavorful. And then Lilo is the 20-seat tasting menu only that they only opened up about 6 months ago, I think it was.
Yeah, and his pastry chef is super talented. I really enjoyed her desserts and stuff like that.
Yeah, pastry chef is fantastic too.
I gave her a lot of it. She seemed very eager, and I love seeing that. I love seeing that.
What about Old Venice in Point Loma? You've been to Old Venice?
No.
Oh,
Old Venice?
Oh my God. It's the cutest little old restaurant. I think it was open in like 70 something or 80 something. Look, do not go in there expecting the best food of your life.
Okay.
All right. Okay. The magic mushrooms may not have enough presto in them. I mean, there needs another rabbit in that hat. But the food is great. Get the baked rigatoni, whatever. But it's all like trees and this patio and all this like white wrought iron, all the chairs, candles and lights everywhere. And you walk in there and it is Point Loma, man. It is like, you can tell this is like, It's like a dating scene for like people in their 40s and 50s, which I might be one of them. I'm not dating because I'm married happily.
Well, I mean, you still got to go on dates.
But but you got to take your you still got to go on dates.
Yeah.
It is a classic San Diego institution. There's no way you can go in there and not feel somewhat romantic. Go check it out. It's an OG.
I need to check that. I've never been there.
Yeah. Get a drink. What about Catania in La Jolla? That's got to be one of my favorite.
Oh, you like? Oh, I haven't had opportunity to sit in that.
You're all. I cook for a living, man. I don't have to go. I can't.
I just no. It's not. I just don't. Sometimes I'm just not able to.
I know.
I mean? Because my days off are Sunday, Mondays, and everybody else is closed those days as well.
Yeah, right.
You know.
Right.
So sometimes I'm a little more limited. You know. And honestly, sometimes I just need to do laundry, bro. Like. It's not offense. Like if I love dining. Like
that's
don't get
the name
me wrong.
of your book, by the way. Sometimes I just need to do laundry, bro.
Sometimes you just need to take care of life. You know.
Totally.
I can't. You know, that's like I think that's the hardest thing of balancing as a chef who's very into their restaurant is that balancing life. So
seriously, man.
But yeah, I mean, you talked about Andrew Bat, but Mana Lucadia for a daytime date is great too.
Daytime date.
Yes.
Mana is phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's right on the. I always say 101. I'm from San Diego. I should know this. It's PCH. Yeah, exactly. Right in Lucadia. It's open air. You know, him and his wife built it by themselves. They just kind of like had a couple beers and spray painted it, and then got a local artist to do an installation. They do a phenomenal.
It's like a French toast.
It's a French toast. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. You knew it.
Sorry to disrespect it if it's not just French toast, but it's
something more.
I know it's. the name is not coming off.
I know.
You know, but
same.
it's delicious every time I go there.
It looks like an entire loaf, and it's like crispy.
Yes,
it's almost
crispy and it has a seasonal fruit on it or whatever.
It's almost like monkey bread on the outside.
It's delicious, and their NABs, they're non-alcoholic beverages. Yes,
are great too.
Great. And but yeah, every time I go there, they always take really good care of me as well. And and it's nice to take a drive up the PCH and then maybe stop there for a little bit.
Totally. And stop by OB Donuts too. And then, not OB Donuts, Lucadia Donuts when you're up there too. It's a legend of the scene. And then late night, go to Bar Lucadian because that's a deep, dark place where secrets go to stay secret. And then daytime dates too for me, Little Lion and OB.
It's super cute. Yeah.
A little brunch spot right on the edge of the earth. Walk down Sunset Cliffs, go hang out on the beach.
You can walk around the area for a little bit.
Totally.
Yeah,
that's it.
We have a little, but I think anything that's half out, half in, I think it's as far as like patio and dining or
exactly, and it's tiny and cute. You know, I mean, that's what you want.
And it's been there. It's very OB. It's very OB. It's very OB.
They're like, we're gonna stop doing dinner for a while, and after doing it again, but they're just like, we're really feeling it. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's OB.
Props, dude. I love that for them.
Yeah, same.
I love that for them.
Yeah, and Anne-Marie Coulon, who's the chef, and there's three sisters that own it. They're like 75 generations of Ocean Beach in San Diego.
That's cool.
So like their grandparents owned Belgian Lion, which is one of the first bistros in San Diego. That was in the 1980s. When in the 80s it was like Chili's, Applebee's, and Mr. Ray's, and then
so that's why it's called Little Lion.
Yeah.
Oh, sick.
Exactly. All right, so this has been Loveline with Tara Monsod and Troy Johnson. Those are your places that you should take a date. If you are not doing laundry, bro, you should take a date. I'm
going to be quoted.
Congratulations again on.
Oh, thank you.
Go check out Lecoq or Lecoq. Go check out especially the date night. Go have a big night. Look, go have a massive night and do everything. But the date night meal is awesome. 3 courses, right?
Yes. You get a hot. Wait, is it 3? No, it's 3. Yes, 3. Okay. Sorry, took a second.
So 3 courses, $100. It's phenomenal food. Anime. It is now
great for date night as well.
And it's institution, man. I mean, those velvet curtains are like 70,000 pounds.
I've been very blessed these last 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm very blessed. I'm just happy the city likes it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and again, like I grew up went to Mount Carmel High, heavy Filipino culture up there. Rancho Penasquitos, Mira Mesa, you know, all of my friends' houses, you know, I mean, that's where I learned about Filipino food, you know, but to see it rise up and to see like people like you and Phil and the late Anthony Sensei, like pushing it forward, it's just awesome to see. So,
thank you. I appreciate it.
And congratulations. I don't care if you win. I I don't.
You know, it's
I don't.
I do want to win for San Diego.
Yeah.
But I think I feel honestly, like I've told you before, I feel like I've already won. You know.
Yeah.
I think making it onto that finals list was the first time was a win.
Yeah.
You know.
Is it 3 or 4?
Well, we're about to find out in March if it's going to be the third time getting into finals.
Getting into the finals. Okay, got
So
it.
yeah, because I think nobody's gone into finals.
Yeah.
And to be on that list with like Claudette and Anthony Wells of like making it to semifinals.
Yeah.
Which is like an honor, but making it to finals and actually being in that space with all those people, and you know, if anything, I learned is that you know we deserve a seat at the table with everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, growing up as a minority, you always ask if you belong in the room.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I think experiencing that and seeing the diversity in the room and just the different people being represented, I think for me is just being there as a win already.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
and
just being invited to the table.
Yeah, and to do it to have my name on a JBF list for 3 years.
Yeah.
Granted, it's not just me, but it's like it's a result of my team and you know PMC as a whole of what we've been growing in San Diego.
Yep.
And I recognize that I didn't do it by myself. Like my name is on the list and Anime is on the list, but it's really a group of people that is part of that.
Yeah.
And I want to win for them
Mm-hmm.
because they all work so hard.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
You know, and it's great.
Yeah,
It's
you've worked
great.
your ass off. Your name is there for a reason, but that's a
Yeah.
whole ship full of people that are rowing, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's rowing that boat.
Yeah, it keeps me humble. You
Yeah.
know, it keeps me humble because I know I didn't get there by myself.
All right. Well, you kick
Yeah.
ass, small fry.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Tara Monsod, she's going to take home the first James Beard Awards.
No pressure.
I'm jinxing it again, but it
I
doesn't
know.
fucking
Knock on
matter
wood, knock on
because
wood.
she's at the table, because she's been invited to the table 3 times, because the food and her team and the culture that you've built up around you is excellent, and you can
Thank
feel it. People feel comfortable. You walk into your room, you walk into your house, people feel comfortable, and it's immediately obviously the food is good. That's where it
Yes.
starts.
Yes.
You know, but if you treat your people well, that kind of exudes into the dining room itself.
Yes, it's very important.
Yeah,
you know? Like
yeah.
bad cooks, you know, having a bad day, food tastes bad.
That's it, man.
You know, it's like they said it before. If you're having a good day, then it'll reflect upon the food, and I think that reflects upon service as well.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So-
That acid will not be right if you're
Yeah.
having a shitty day, man. All right, that's it. We'll be back next week with somebody. Who knows? All right, see ya.